Just gonna double check that sound is coming through good, guys, and then I'm going to start the stream. All right. Um, I don't even know. See, the problem is that I fully intended on streaming after the game. That was my full intention. To be honest with you, and then you know, I I the game was occurring. Essentially, essentially what I intended for the stream to look like. Given how Liverpool were playing and how the game ultimately turned out, how my stream's going to look a little different. I need to get the reflection off my glasses. Where to even start? I don't even know. I'm not even. I'll be honest. I don't even know where to start with this entire thing. Look, Liverpool at the end of the day today, the first half a lot more. I don't want to say impressive, because the thing that I have an issue. Giannis said hello, Giannis. Welcome to the chat, brother. I appreciate you for joining in. The problem that I have with this result is, I think that you see some fan channels, some creators, they'll come on their respected socials, and they'll talk about this game in a different way than I'm probably going to talk about it. They're probably going to act as though the result was good, which the result absolutely was good for sure. I fully believe, I'm happy with the end result of the game, but I'm not going to act as though I'm not upset with the performance, because the performance was ass. There's no better way to describe Liverpool today other than ass. Kono Yoon said the subs were atrocious. I couldn't agree more, Kono. That was look. Let me get my mind straight, because I have so much to say, and I had a certain. It's almost frustrating, because I had a certain way that I anticipated coming into the stream, and now, given the end result, I don't want to go too hard. I don't want to be as hard as I was going to be, because I'll be honest with you, 15 minutes ago, I was going to come on here and I was going to really, really identify who we need to take a look at here. We'll start with the first half. The first half, I felt as though Kirkez was not playing well. Kono Yoon said taking off Maka was was what made us worse. Trust me, Kono, I can assure you one thing. I will get to the McAllister substitution. The McAllister substitution. I'm not even going to go. I'm not even going to start at the beginning, because why on earth? Why I would love to know a rational argument as to why on earth we decided to take Alexis McAllister off and we were going to leave on Dominic Szoboszlai at the time that we did. It made absolutely no sense to me. There was no rationale for it. Dominic Szoboszlai, once again, did not have a great game. Is it the worst game I've ever seen from Szoboszlai? No. I thought he played a lot worse in the Community Shield, although I literally saw him take a shot at one point, and it nearly went out for a throw-in. Mind you, this is a Premier League player. This guy plays in the English Premier League week in and week out. And for the life of me, I don't really understand why the decision was to take out Alexis McAllister and we're going to leave in Dominic Szoboszlai. I'm not sure where everyone in the chat is from, but I'm from America, and we had Graham Souness was one of the announcers for the game. And one of the questions that was asked was, hey, obviously Ryan Gravenberch is not available because he's serving a suspension due to the red card that he got at the end of last season. Once he returns, how does that impact Dominic Szoboszlai? And Graham Lasso I almost said Graham Souness. Graham Lasso said, well, I actually think that him and Soboslai will probably share time a little bit. No, they won't. It was so clear as day, the missing impact, that not having Ryan Gravenberch was a huge, huge issue. And yeah, Kono said we need a Gravenberch replacement. Z said, does Mo intentionally kicked into the box? Mohamed Salah scored today. So Z, I know you get wild in the chat, and I always love when you do, Z. But I mean, at the end of the day, Salah scored today. Was he a little invisible for sure? Yeah, but Kono said Z mate shush. Yeah, I think Z. I'm interested to hear what you have to say, Z. For sure, get involved in the chat. But right now we have bigger concerns. Right? You know what I mean? Ekitike looked great. That's probably the best positive from this. Ekitike looked great. Cody Gakpo had a really good game as well. The goal that Gakpo took was brilliant. Up top, I mean, like if you just look at the goals, we had a goal from Ekitike, Gakpo, Salah, and Federico Chiesa. 4 goals from our forwards. They all looked pretty good. Salah, yeah, he was definitely a little invisible. There, he didn't play his best, but we know what we get from Salah. I really wasn't that concerned. I thought he played all right. Kono said, I loved Ekitike. He's brilliant. It really makes us have to question what's going on with this Isak transfer and stuff. Z said, Mo's come back. That all I want, my king is back. Love that, Z. I love that. Grub said, what's going on, people? How we doing, Grub? Let us know, brother. Kono said, is Ekitike man of the match? Yeah, for sure. Goal and assist has to be man of the match. Even though he got... I hate giving man of the match to someone who gets subbed off as early as he did. But, yeah, I do think he would definitely get man of the match. My brother Rasta Stocks, how we doing? He said, congratulations on the win, bro. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. Very, very excited for your game this weekend. I think it's going to be the game of the weekend. Thank you for joining the chat. Rasta, we had a stream the other night, and a guy came in, and he was talking about some of his favorite YouTubers, and he said you were one of his favorite YouTubers. He's like, yeah, I usually watch Rasta Stocks' stream. Yeah. So shout out to Rasta Stocks. And then we got Kono and Grub going back and forth. Yeah, I think to be honest with you, look, the first half we were okay. I wasn't completely impressed, but they didn't look too threatening. The person who had probably the worst game wearing red today is for sure Ibrahima Konate did not play well today. I would say Ibu was probably our worst big name player today. Virgil was okay. And I was a little concerned about Van Dijk because he didn't play good in the Community Shield, but it was really Konate that looked poor today. Kirkes did not look great, but I mean, Andy Robertson came. I was saying at halftime, I was like, we need to get Andy Robertson warm because Kirkes doesn't look great. He got a yellow, and it was a yellow in the sense that he nearly murdered the man. So I'm like, all right, well, on top of the fact that he's not been playing well, he's on a yellow. We can't lose him. We can't go down to 10 men here. So. I was not really impressed with Kirkes. I was okay with Frimpong. Can we talk, chat? Kona said, "Nah, I disagree. I thought Ibu was good today. Our right side was open for him to cover it alone. I don't think Ibu played great today at all. I think the first goal, obviously Robertson had Semenyo coming in off the back post, but the first ball in behind our back four came from Ibu stepping too high. Also, there were a couple really, really bad misplaced passes in the first half. I don't think Ibu played great today. I think Frimpong was okay. Frimpong's an interesting one because he's such a specific style of play that I don't think we've seen from our fullbacks. He's a wing back that we're playing in a four back, so I don't know if we're gonna look to change that. In the midfield, Alexis McAllister, so brilliant. Rasta Stocks said, check your message. I'm watching from work. Oh, let me see. You probably sent in. Yeah, so we got Rasta Stocks sent in a SpeakPipe voicemail. So we are going to listen to that right now.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. I appreciate that shout out, bro. And I'm just trying my best to be consistent, you know.
For sure.
And, bro, congratulations on the win. I've said it before. I'm gonna say it again. You're my main rivals, right? Y'all
Yep.
are winning the league again. That's if City turns it on.
Mm-hmm.
And bro, honestly, I'm not taking a piss at Arsenal here, but bro, if Arteta is a manager, they ain't doing nothing, bro. And I'll be surprised if they do. But big up yourself all the way, bro. And smash the likes, people. Smash the likes.
Haha, my guy. Thank you, Rasta Stocks. I appreciate it, brother. And anyone in the chat, make sure you go check out Rasta Stocks' channel as well. He makes content. It's really, really entertaining stuff. So please make sure to do that. Yeah, I definitely, I listen. I think based on how we played today, I feel almost a little weird. Saying that I'm really confident that we'll win the league. I do think that all in all, we have the best roster. The problem that I have is there was a clear indication today that Liverpool did not gel. That was my big thing, Rasta Stocks. I do think if you were to look at the talent that are on all of these Premier League teams, I do think we probably have the most talent. I think it's up to Arne Slot to figure out how to get these guys to gel. And that's my big thing. But Rasta, I'm very, very excited for your game this weekend against Arsenal. Kono said, taking off Maka might have been because of fitness, but it made us look like a Burnley side on a Sunday 12 p.m. kickoff. Yeah, man. Kono, I want your opinion on Soboslai's role in the team. Please let me know in the chat because sometimes I wonder if I'm being too hard on Dominic Soboslai or if other Liverpool fans feel the same way. Rasta Stock says, I'm going to try out the SpeakPipe. I remember you said it was free. Yeah, I use it for free, man. I think there might be some paid features you can do or something like that. But I just have a free page. And yeah, I don't know if you run OBS, but I run OBS when I stream. So I'm able to play my desktop audio. So I literally just press play and, depending on what like streaming stuff you use or whatever, I'm sure you could figure it out. It's, it was so easy for me. And I literally just like Googled like voicemail service for YouTube and SpeakPipe popped up. So there could also be other services and stuff like that you might want to use. For me, I felt McAllister coming off was tough. I think in our best scenario, our best midfield three is Ryan Gravenberch, Alexis McAllister, and Florian Wirtz. I think Dominic Soboslai, unfortunately, while he works very, very hard and he's a talented player, I don't think that he is up to the level that Liverpool need. And I think that he played a lot worse in the Community Shield, in my personal opinion. Today he wasn't too bad. But yeah, I had no issues with the front three at all. And anyone that played up top today. Ekatike looks really, really good, man. Ekatike, number one, Ekatike in a long sleeve Adidas Liverpool kit just gives Fernando Torres vibes. I don't know how old a lot of you guys are, but for me, it felt very Fernando Torres like. Some of you might not remember Torres as much, but man, he's so physical too. He's so physical. He's a big kid, quick. The goal that Ekatike scored for me, I thought he took it so well. I was really impressed with Hugo Ekatike today. Cody Gakpo played really well as well. I do think that if Liverpool get Alexander Isak, Cody Gakpo is probably going to get dropped, and Ekatike is going to move over to the left there. And that's a little unfortunate for Gakpo. I think a lot of people go hard on Gakpo, and it's not really too deserved. But yeah, Rasta Stock says I use StreamYard if it works for OBS. Yeah, if it works for me with OBS, so I don't see a world where it wouldn't work for StreamYard. Rasta Stock said McAllister has to be careful. That handball could have been a penalty. I've seen him do something like that more than one time already. Let's hope he don't do it when it's an important game. I didn't see the handball today. Maybe I missed it. I saw the one in the Community Shield I was like, damn. Unbiased, I thought the one in the Community Shield should have been given. There was the handball today from Bournemouth, though, that like the fact that their player did not get sent off for that when he deliberately just smacked the ball with his hand, that should have been some sort of crime as far as I'm concerned. That guy, yeah, Liverpool were equally woeful and impressive today. That's why I made the title of this stream Liverpool Woeful and Impressive in Opening Win. There were some areas of the pitch that really impressed me, and there were some areas in the pitch that really concerned me. Specifically, our back four concerns me. Up top, I'll be honest, chat. Like, Alexander Isak is awesome. Like, he's one of the best strikers in the world, especially in the Premier League. But, like, do we need, like, is that the biggest need for Liverpool Football Club right now? Like, at the back, we look so shaky. We look so shaky, and up top, we look mint. We look completely fine. We made a couple changes up top, and we still look dangerous. Like, I guess, like, when a player like Isak wants to come to your team, wants to come to your club, like, it's hard to ever just say, hey, we're not going to Alexander Isak, we're not interested, we're all good up top. But, I mean, like, it's clearly our back four, which is significantly more shaky than our front three. And I would say our midfield, I would say our midfield's kind of like an in-between, where I feel like they're okay. I mean, I do think we should get a little bit more depth in midfield. Wataru Endo is not doing it for me. Grubb said, I had a feeling it would be a bit of a grind today. Gakpo's goal was filthy. Yeah, you know what it was, Grubb? I actually thought it was going to be a grind, too. A lot of people have talked bad about Bournemouth because they've lost, like, their entire back four. They've lost, Kirkes, Dean Huijsen, a couple other players as well that they've lost. But I was like, Bournemouth, throughout their 11 from last season, were a really good squad. I'm sure they probably brought in adequate replacements at the least. But what I didn't see is, I knew it was going to be a grind, but giving up a two goal, giving up a 2-goal lead against a team like this is something that Liverpool cannot be doing, man. It's the same thing with the Community Shield. And Rasta said, no, I was talking about the Community Shield. I figured you probably were, Rasta. It's the same thing with the Community Shield, where it's like, I don't understand why on earth we are putting ourselves into situations where we're winning games and we're going to just drop points for no apparent reason. Or drop points. We ended up going to penalties in the Community Shield. We nearly dropped points today. I meant we give away needless goals. Is what I meant. I don't know why I said drop points. It's been a long day. I don't understand it. It for me. It was a concerning game. I'm not happy with the performance. There were, like I said, individually, I think, there were some bright spots. Obviously, we spoke about Ekatike. Chat, I'd be interested to hear what you guys. I'd be interested to hear what you guys have to say about Florian Wirtz. Florian Wirtz in the Community Shield in this game played well. I don't think he played bad, but I felt as though he's just not been able to get as involved as I would like from him. Grubb said Grubb said we commit a lot of bodies forward, so I'm not surprised we're getting hit on transition like that. It's a little worrying. Yeah, that's 100% what happened on Bournemouth's first goal. We saw Kanate stepped. They were able to find a ball in behind, crossover. Robbo was stepped forward as well, which allowed Semenyo to get in, and then they countered on. They got us on transition in the second goal. As well. Slim Handle said when they won the 2019-20 title, they won 4-1 to Norwich. I'm assuming you mean like our opening game, Slim. You'll have to let me know, but thank you for participating in the chat, brother. I'm assuming you mean that like on our opening game we played Norwich and won 4-1. Yeah, so I mean we won 4-2 today. There's that. Yeah, I'm interested, to say the least. The problem is that both of these results, effectively drawing against Crystal Palace. I know it was technically the Community Shield. I call that a draw. We lost on penalties. We're woeful on penalties. And then this game today, I am a little concerned, with us giving up needless goals, so to speak. But hopefully it's something that can get worked out and we can fix our defensive shape in transition, because we don't look good in transition. Grubb said, Wirtz always plays tidy and easy on the eye, and I like Wirtz coming back and helping progress the ball forward, but he didn't have a lot of effect in the final third today. Yeah, that's on the money, Grubb. That's on the money as always. Dude, like, I feel as though you can see the talent of Florian Wirtz, but like I want to see him when we get into the attacking third, get a little bit more creative, or even get creative with some passes going forward. Picking the ball up maybe in our middle third and putting in a long ball to Salah or a long ball to Gakpo. I'd like to see him get a little bit more creative look. There's some players on Liverpool who just love to piss the ball away. Dominic Szoboszlai, who said that? So I don't think I think he shouldn't be. I hope it's not a thing that he's playing really easy and tidy like you said, Grubb, because he feels as though he has to, and he doesn't want to make any mistakes or anything like that. So the easy, tidy passes are good for him, in terms of like not giving away possession and things of that nature. I haven't been on it. I would say I haven't been unimpressed with Florian Wirtz. I just would love to see Wirtz essentially get a little bit more involved in the attacking third. Get a little creative. We know how good of a player Florian Wirtz is, so I want to see him, do things that we've seen from him at Leverkusen, and I haven't seen that just yet. I think, once we get Ryan Gravenberch back, I think Dominic Szoboszlai is going to get dropped to the bench. The problem is that I don't understand, to be honest with you. For the life of me, I do not understand. Arne Slot loves to play Dominic Szoboszlai for 90 minutes. Like that's his thing. He did it and granted, it's because Szoboszlai has like 3 lungs. So I think that's probably the reason. But like, I think Szoboszlai will fit us a lot better coming off of the bench once we get Gravenberch back. Kono said, I do think getting Gravenberch back would get Wirtz a boost. He just isn't compatible with Szoboszlai. Yeah, let's be real. Szoboszlai is a weird one because it's like an attacking midfielder that I personally, I think there's some people who might disagree with me. For me, Dominic Szoboszlai is a 10 that we oftentimes try to play in other positions. Like, we try to play him as an 8. And he's not an 8, and we shouldn't keep doing that. I don't know. Grubb said Verts could have a bit more bite to win the ball back as well. May come with time, but the counter press was underwhelming from our front line today. I don't know if it's a tactical change from Slot. It could be. Yeah, I kind of noticed that as well. I actually felt as though we pressed a lot higher up the pitch in the Community Shield than we did today, Grubb. It felt as though Ekatike pressed pretty high, but it also didn't, like, his press was just to, like, put a little bit of pressure on the goalkeeper and the center backs to just continue to make them. It didn't look like I'm going to try to win the ball from you, which is historically from Liverpool is something we've always seen. It was made famous by Salah, Mane, Firmino, but then also too Darwin Núñez, Jota, Luis Diaz. They pressed so high and under so much pressure that it would often result in the backs making mistakes because they would just be under so much pressure. Conan Yoon said Soboslai is better off the right. I did watch him in Germany, and almost every time he cuts from the right. Wow, yeah, I mean, hey. That's an interesting one. I didn't know that. He played, like I said, he played better today than he did in the Community Shield, but I still want more from Soboslai. And the often I feel as though I go a little hard on Dominic Soboslai, and I'll be like, damn, I feel like I'm a little bit of an asshole. But I know how good of a player he is, and like sometimes I just don't feel we get to see all of that. Grubb said, Frimpong was also very reserved today, hardly got forward compared to the Palace game. Yeah, I saw that as well. And then also, too, Grubb, along with that, I felt Cody Gakpo on the left was not tracking back nearly as much as he did at Palace. He sat up a lot higher, which I liked. I definitely was a little bit perturbed with how far Gakpo had to track back in the Community Shield game. I was like, why do we have Cody Gakpo playing left back alongside Kirkaz? It was so weird, and I think maybe part of that was how high up that Frimpong was getting. But come on, like he was so far back. It was unbelievable. Guys, I see we have a couple good amount of people watching along with us. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment in the chat. And also, too, the speak pipe is in the description if you want to leave a voicemail for me to play over the stream. Shout out to Rostastocks for kicking the speak pipe off for us today. Concern for, in totality, I would say, concern for Liverpool, especially when we're going to play better teams. I don't think that we've seen the best of Liverpool, given we played Crystal Palace and Bournemouth in both games. I mean, obviously we went to penalties with Crystal Palace, but then when we played Bournemouth, we just narrowly get a win. I'm a little concerned with that, but we got another chat here from Conan Yunes who said, Maka is the gel that holds our midfield. He is the tempo setter. Without him, our midfield collapses. Also, he is the reason Gravenberch can play CDM. He completes him. Yeah. No, I totally agree. I do believe, I think we've talked about it a little bit in the chat today. I do believe that the sub for McAllister just had to be fitness oriented, because it just didn't really make a whole bunch of sense to me in terms of getting the best out of the team. It really was, I didn't understand it at all. But when I look at it, especially given that McAllister came off of the bench in the Community Shield, to me, I was like, this has to be fitness related. It can't be just systematic. It had to be fitness, and I do think that was the case for sure. I don't think Slot did it based on the fact that, I'm going to take McAllister off because that's what I think is best for the team. He is the gel. I think for sure. Gravenberch is a huge miss for us. I'm excited when he comes back and to see what we get from Gravenberch, McAllister, and Florian Wirtz. Maka is just world class. Can't believe we got him for $35 million. Isn't that insane? Isn't that absolutely insane? That's why I think in the future, teams are not going to want to have release clauses in their contracts, because you can get a guy and he'll be like a decent player, put a $35 million release clause, and then a big club like Liverpool comes in and they just snatch him up for $35 million. Grubb said having Jones, Soboslai, and Wirtz on the field at the same time is like looking. Yeah, it's like having you hit the nail on the head. It's 3 10s. I think obviously Kurt is probably the most like a number 8 out of those 3 players, in my opinion. Some people might say Soboslai, but like there's no reason, if we have both McAllister and Gravenberch fit in the future, that we should have Soboslai, Kurt, and Wirtz all on the field at the same time. Conan Yoon said, the Ekatike sub was a weird one, though. He could have provided more. That was another one, though, Kono, going on the McAllister bit. When I saw that, I was like, this has to be fitness related, because we don't have another striker, really, and he was playing really, really well, and I also felt like we could have got more out of him. So when I saw Ekatike come off, to be honest, Kono, I definitely felt that that there was something fitness related for why we were taking Hugo off, because it just didn't make any sense to me. Kono said Kurt is an 8, Wirtz and Sobo are 10s. It is weird, LOL. Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I think that like if you're Soboslai, I think your role in the team has got to you got to be a little concerned with your role in the team. Look, man, like Soboslai for me, obviously he's a very talented player, but we purchased him a couple of years ago with the intent that he would be our attacking midfielder. And now we just went out and spent $135 million on an attacking midfielder. You got an opportunity. You got 90 minutes in the Community Shield. For me, you played bad. And then today you got another 90 minutes and you still didn't play good enough as far as I'm concerned. Was it better than the Community Shield? Yes. Was it a really bad performance from Dom? I don't think so, but not what I think. Like I feel as though with Gravenberch out and the fact that he got a start, I felt there was a chance that he could have taken the opportunity to win a spot back in the lineup, and I don't think he's grabbed a hold of it. Connor said 116, LOL. Dude, you know what it is, man? Once a transfer goes over 100 million, I do not pay attention to the two numbers after the one. Like for me, if you're a 106 million pound transfer, that's the same as a 130 million pound transfer, and you might say to yourself, Limo, that is stupid. There's like 30 million like difference, but like once a player breaks 100 million, I really don't pay attention to the specifics of it. Grubb said, I think Soboslai will be our new James Milner this season. We'll find in at the 10, 8, 6, right back, maybe even off the wing if we need him to. Yeah, hopefully. I hope that happens. Because the reality of the situation is he ain't one of the best options for us in midfield. He just isn't. He really, honestly, just isn't one of our best options in midfield. He's a good player, solid player, but like if we're gonna field our best team, Soboslai is not in it. And if he is that, if he plays that, the difference though, Grubb, like that Kono said, funny enough, Sobo did play right back. That's because he's a center midfielder. I growing up, I was a center midfielder too, and I would have to, often have to play right back and stuff like that. I think, the difference though, going back to what Grubb said about Soboslai potentially playing like a James Milner role, to where he has a couple different spots on the pitch that he might play. The difference there is we saw James Milner doing that once he got older. Like, if you're Dominic Soboslai, I don't think you're going to be that content with having to play that role. And I think that James Milner was such a specific footballer that he was okay fitting in anywhere he did. He's an old school, like he's like the last of a dying breed almost. So yeah, I honestly, guys, I see we got like 21 people. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, get in the chat along with Kono and Grub. Please send in a speak pipe as well. Thank you guys all for your support. Kono said, I do play 10 at the academy. Hope it doesn't end up like Sobo. Yeah, I hope not. Well, at the end of the day, Kono, like, if you end up being Dominic Soboslai, like, yeah, obviously it's not the best case scenario for him in terms of, like, his Liverpool career, but, like, he plays for Liverpool Football Club. Like, if you play for Liverpool, if you end up being like Dominic Soboslai, and you end up, going to playing on the first team at Liverpool, and, like, yeah, you're probably going to get your spot taken, you're still playing, for the first team at Liverpool. That's something people would quite literally kill for. And also, too, I hope you do end up doing that, Kono, so then I can come on stream and be like, Kono used to come on my stream all the time, and I could talk about the glory days. And be like, I know that guy. He used to... he said, I meant the position in my team. Oh, you hope your team doesn't go out and bring in a new 10, and then you have to play. Because people are going to be like, Kono's going to be our James Milner. Yeah, no, I know what you mean. My bad, bro. No, I know what you mean. He goes, laugh my ass off. Hope so. I hope so too. I hope you end up being Dominic Soboslai, so then I can come on stream and be like, this guy used to watch my stream, and people would be like, no, he didn't. And I'd be like, well, let me run the tape back. Kono used to be in the chat all the time. Yeah, I think, what do you guys, a big one, what do you guys think of Federico Chiesa? A player who really has not been given, enough opportunity by Slot, in my opinion. And I'll be real, a guy that in Federico Chiesa that I'm like, I feel like he's gotten a little bit of a raw deal. Like, why do we buy Federico Chiesa if we're just not going to use him? You know what I mean? Like, I always thought that was a little strange. And then, obviously, he's he comes on and scores a winner for us. I'm very, very happy with that. I'm very, very happy with that, and I hope he gets more opportunities, because, not for nothing, like, why did we spend money on him if we're just never going to play him? And, of course, like, I don't think that, I definitely don't think that Federico Chiesa, when he was given opportunities last season, played that great, but I felt as though it wasn't enough opportunities that, like, you could rationalize him just never playing for Liverpool. Grubb said, I feel like he'll play a massive role this season with Salah getting older / AFCON, also helping Leone blend in. He'll be a huge asset. Yeah, I was so pumped. I was like, I'm eating spaghetti tonight. We signed an Italian center back, and then our Italian winger comes on and effectively scores the winner. I know, obviously, Salah scored a fourth for us, but at the time that he scored it, I'm like, oh my gosh, Federico. Yeah, Kono said, LOL, by the way, did you notice Ekitike slipping too much? I did, I did really, 110%. Did see him slipping a lot. I saw like a couple different players. I saw a couple guys on Bournemouth slipping. There were several guys that were slipping too much today. Yeah, it was really, really weird. Kono said at Grub, Slot would rather play my nephew at right mid than Stasala. Kono said, I meant Feta. Yo, okay. Grubb said, ha ha ha, true. Alyssa said, we need a defender. Yeah, I think we definitely need to. Defensively, we just were not sound enough today, for sure. It was a bit concerning, for sure. I definitely think we need to obviously we brought in the new Italian kid today. I'd like to see us make the Mark Gahey signing as well. That's been one we've been linked to for quite some time, Alyssa. So yeah, I definitely agree. We need more defenders. Super duper important for sure. Grubb said, to be fair, Chiesa is great off both wings, so I could see him covering Gakpo if we don't end up getting another winger. Yeah, but like, so here's the thing though, Grub. If we're going to bring in, Alexander Isak, I would then assume that we're going to probably play Ekitike off the left as a starter more often, and then that would probably drop Gakpo, which would then ultimately put Chiesa a little bit farther down the line. Yeah, but I do think the point that I forget if it was Kono or Grubb said, that the aspect that we definitely could have, AFCON, so, Salah getting a little bit older as well, Chiesa getting a little bit more time potentially off the Rife. Kono said, at Alyssa, Gahey, hopefully. Yeah, I think that's this Leone kid, I'm glad we got that done. I'm glad that we expedited that process. So yeah, for sure, I definitely hope Gahey comes in. Kono said, at Grubb, I do think he is better off on the left than right. Grubb said, yeah. Yeah, I think we'll have to wait and see how we officially can kind of get Federico into the lineup a little more than we currently are, because right now I want to see him play more. I think he played well today, obviously coming on, scored an important goal, but it comes down to opportunities. Now hopefully this goal today will get him more opportunities, because that was the thing, is we all saw how good of a player Federico Chiesa was prior to him. I think he tore his ACL and stuff and then kind of bounced around a little bit. We all saw how good of a player he was, and it seems like injuries and stuff derailed him. The Liverpool move I was excited about, and then we just haven't used him. I would like to see us use him. Kono said, I would say during AFCON we would play a 4-2-2-2, and play Frimpong on the right and Bradley as right back. Yeah, I could see that. I definitely think that there's a chance that with AFCON we see a Connor Bradley and Frimpong introduction for sure. I think that's a real possibility there. Given the nature of the situation with Salah going away for AFCON, I definitely think that there's a potential for seeing Bradley and Frimpong. But please, guys, make sure you're getting involved in the chat. Like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. I know I keep harping on it too, but if anyone would like to send in a voicemail on the speak pipe, it is available. So make sure, check down below in my description for the link. Send in a voicemail and I'll play it live on stream just so you guys can get your voice heard. Shout out to Kono and Grubb being real active. I appreciate you guys very, very much for joining the stream. Overall, you know what the problem was, guys, to be honest with you? I came, the game was happening, and I was about to come on here and, really, really dig into Liverpool, and then we ended up winning the game, and it's all right, I'm not going to just go as hard as I need to on Liverpool, because it's not necessary. We picked up 3 points. That, like I said, there were some spots on the pitch that impressed me. There were also some spots on the pitch that I was, maybe a little more, concerned with. But, at the end of the day, I think the spots that concern me are at the back. I think that they can be ironed out, and it's the unfortunate reality of the situation is I'm nervous about the future of Ibu Konate, and I don't think he's going to leave this season, but I wouldn't be shocked if Real Madrid pull a scumbag move and make a move for him right at the tail end of the transfer window. And for that reason, I feel like it's really important for Liverpool to try to go out and secure Mark Gahey. That way we're not just essentially pigeonholing ourselves into Virgil van Dijk, an 18-year-old Italian kid, and Joe Gomez. because that just sounds like a recipe for disaster. There's so much experience from Konate. Now, I want to preface that by saying I don't think that Real are going to do that. I have, though, seen some things that would maybe indicate that Real are going to say, all right, let's just go for Ibu Konate now. Let's really just try to make a swoop for him at the end of the transfer window. And then, like, Liverpool, can't really replace him. Not that it, like, really affects them if we can't replace Konate, because we play in different leagues, but I think we're two teams that, what did Kono say? Hugo Ekitike is the first player to score an assist in his debut since 2022. Nunes, yeah, I thought that. I 100% thought that. I'm not gonna lie to you. I do think while I'm really really excited for the Ekitike kid, like number one, like him in the long sleeve Adidas kit just reminded me of Fernando Torres, but then like something about the way he plays, to be honest, it's definitely I don't know, maybe it's just me. It seems kind of Nunes like, and that could just be me, and obviously Nunes just left. But part of like how he played definitely felt fairly Darwin Nunes like. So I'm excited. I'm definitely excited. We got some. What do you guys? What other games this weekend are you guys excited for? I think obviously the Manchester United and Arsenal game is a big one that I'm really really excited for. But Kono said Hugo has the technical ability, Nunes doesn't. I'm not worried at all. But that's the thing though, Kono. Nunes had technical ability. Nunes couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat. He couldn't finish. Nunes, like, technically was not a bad footballer. Remember his debut? He had the flick goal. It was like almost a Cruyff. He was a very, very technically gifted player. Darwin Nunes just could not score if his life depended on it. I think that's why he stayed at Liverpool for as long as he did, is because we're just like, eventually he's gonna find the back of the net. He does everything else fine. It's just the fact that he cannot score goals. And that's why I think that Liverpool kept him for as long as we did. But, I don't know. I think that the one thing I really liked about Hugo today was he was real physical. There was a physical element to him. He was going to battle with center backs and using his body. So I'm really, really excited for that. Very exciting with him. He looks like a really, really talented kid. Like I said, very Fernando Torres-esque. And I don't know. I know a lot of you guys are probably a little younger to maybe remember how Torres was at Liverpool. But when I was growing up, that was the guy that was my favorite. Outside of Steven Gerrard. Because Steven Gerrard was everyone's favorite player that supported Liverpool. But then, you'd kind of have to have another guy because it was just so typical to have Gerrard be your favorite player. Kono said Nunes and technical ability is mental. I'm sorry, he wouldn't control the ball to save his life. Yeah, I mean, I would disagree. I don't think he was that bad technically. I think he was just his decision making was pretty poor. I don't think it was his technical ability. But agree to disagree. I mean, he's gone. He's playing in Saudi now. Probably doesn't have the best technical ability if he decided to go play the remainder of his career in Saudi. No hate to him. I mean, he's making so much money. And, like, I saw a TikTok where they were, like, showing, like, the upbringing that Darwin had and, like, where he's going or, like, how much, Kono said, I did watch Torres. I did say Academy, but I'm in the U19. So if you're 19 then, or you're 18, how old would you have been when Torres was playing? You probably would have been young. You probably would have been like 6 or something like that. Right? Damn, that makes me feel so fucking old. That's awesome though. That's cool you're playing in the academy, man. That's awesome, Kona. I love that. I love to hear you're playing in the academy and stuff. That's a really, really good. Keep playing, man. Play as long as you can. Very, very important. Very, very important. But yeah, what other yeah, Kono said I did start watching football because of him. Fun fact, he made me love the game, man. He was so much fun to watch, Torres. It was so sad when he went to Chelsea. I was so upset. I was so upset. But what other games are we excited for this weekend? For me, obviously the Manchester United Arsenal game is a huge game that I'm excited for. But then also too, on top of that, I am excited to see Manchester City play. I'm excited for Newcastle Villa. I think that's going to be a tight game. Two teams that I could see kind of being in a very similar spot in the upcoming season. I see both Newcastle and Aston Villa being kind of in that 7th to 8th range. So that's my thought process on that one. But I would love to hear what you guys have to say about the matter for sure. So. Yeah, very. Kono said I'm excited for Fulham and Brighton, to be honest with you. Yeah, I think I talked shit about that match the other day, so I don't want to say I'm excited for it. It's going to be an even matchup, and it's going to be very interesting to see how both of them match up against each other. It's an interesting one, yeah. Is that at the Amex or Craven Cottage? You have to let me know, Kono. All right. I'm very, very interested to see if it's at the Amex or Craven Cottage. Dropping a new video tonight, I think. I have it queued up. I might honestly, when I end this stream, I might just pop over, drop a new video, call it a night. Kono said, yeah, that's why I'm excited. It's even. Yeah, the only other. It's at the Amex. The only other, I would say Newcastle and Villa I'd expect to be even, although last season when they played, I'm pretty sure Villa spanked them. And then, Arsenal United's going to be entertaining. I don't know how even it would be. You would expect that Arsenal are really going to dominate that game. Yeah, I would, it's entertaining because it's Arsenal United, but it's, current United. It's not really, the Arsenal United of old. But what else are you guys thinking? Let me know. Otherwise, I might. We're hitting about 55 minutes on the stream. I can go for a little bit longer. We'll see how busy the chat gets and stuff like that. Sometimes I feel like, just after an hour, the chat really starts to pop off a little bit. So we'll see what you guys are feeling, what Kono's feeling, what Grub is feeling, what everyone in the chat is feeling. Potentially we could even get maybe, a speak pipe or two. We got one already from my boy Rasta Stocks. Shout out to the homie Rasta Stocks, baby. And just like that, the concurrent viewers dips like a motherfucker. Maybe I just drop this video now. Do I just drop this video now? I just drop a video on stream. See what happens. I'm not going to be streaming for that much longer, so maybe I just drop this video. But will that take people from my stream? I don't know how that works. Kona said, I think I'm going to replay God of War 1, 2, and 3. I'm just going to speed run all 3 God of Wars. That's awesome. I don't think I've ever played those games, so. I'm old, though. I don't know. Those could be old games. I don't even know. Shit, maybe I'll just drop this bad boy. Yeah, just dropped a video live on stream. New YouTube video. Active, baby. Let's see if that pops the... Because I think if I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Kona said I did speedrun Sekiro before. I don't even know what that is, my man. I gotta be real with you, brother. I do not know what Sekiro is. Probably says more about me just because I'm old as shit, but... yeah. Maybe do we just... hold on one sec. Kinda got an idea. Kinda got an idea. Hold on, actually. I got an idea. Here. Bear with me. You just call me Unc, Kono? Damn. Am I officially an uncle? I actually technically am officially an uncle, but damn. Got the youngins calling me Unc? Damn. I'm gonna make y'all watch my newest video. That I just dropped. What is going on right now? Oh, here we go. Hold on one sec. Hold on. Alright. See if this works. Over the past... oh. Pause that. Let me know. And you'll have to probably be the one to let me know. Over the past decade, I don't think that there has been a footballer that has divided opinions as much
Why is this playing?
as Jack Grealish. A controversial player.
What is going on? Jesus. My lord, I've just made an absolute just mess of that. My gosh. Talk about making... what is... dude, I'm about to freak out right now. Okay. There we go. Good God. That was awful. You know what I did? I messed up because I did browser instead of... I know what I did. Everyone chill out. Display capture. Okay. Okay. Alright. I'm gonna watch my newest video. No, that's not what I meant to do. Alexander Isak said, bro. What's up, Alexander Isak? I was playing no sound there. I was playing no sound at all. First of all, this is my personal account, so I'm going to like the video. And if you guys haven't yet, check this video out. Don't leave the stream, though. But check this video out and leave a like. I would really, really appreciate it. Love you. All right, I'm going to play it now. Over the past decade, I don't think that there has been a footballer that has divided opinions as much as Jack Grealish, a controversial player who many fans love and adore and want him to succeed. And on the other side of the coin, many fans feel as though his career has been inconsistent and not lived up to his full potential. Now, one of the earliest memories that I have from Jack Grealish's career comes from the 2019 Second City Derby in the Championship where Aston Villa faced Birmingham. A fan rushed onto the pitch and punched Jack Grealish from behind and then was obviously escorted from the grounds. Later in that game, Jack Grealish scored the winner, beating Birmingham 1-0. Now for me, when I saw this, guys, I gotta be honest, what came to mind was, this guy is absolutely electric. I mean, the thought that a fan literally rushed the pitch and punched a player in the side of his head, that same player then going on to score the winner against their biggest rival, it was absolutely scenes. Now, following this season, Aston Villa were obviously promoted to the Premier League, and that's where the real buzz around Jack Grealish began, where many teams were very, very interested in potentially signing Jack Grealish. And ultimately, the team that signed him was Manchester City for a reported £100 million transfer, which broke the British transfer record. And now, a lot of fans obviously felt that this was way too much money for a player of Grealish's caliber, and there began the criticism around Jack Grealish. And I'll be honest, I think that this is a big issue in football. The transfer fees are between club to club. A player never values themselves. It's an agreed upon price that one club decides they're going to play another club based on the valuation that both of the clubs agree upon. So Jack Grealish never said that he thought he was £100 million player. Aston Villa valued at him, and Manchester City were willing to pay that price. But nevertheless, the criticism around Grealish at Manchester City is not solely down to the price tag that City paid for him. It comes down to his career that he had at City. And ultimately, I think it's been very inconsistent. The best season that Jack Grealish had, in my personal opinion, was the treble-winning season. And you could say he stepped up in a season where Manchester City needed him the most. His partnership with Erling Haaland that year was emphatic. And in my opinion, he was very, very good. Was he a £100 million player? Probably not, but nobody can tell me that he didn't play a major role in that season. And following the treble-winning season, immediately after came one of the most iconic moments from Grealish, and that is the celebrations following the treble. And everyone loved Jack Grealish's celebrations. The guy must have drank probably 30 beers a day over a 3 to 4 day span, and the guy was celebrating like how most fans would expect they would celebrate if they were to win a treble. Now, modern footballers today are very robotic. They don't party, they don't have fun, they're very robotic in their professionalism, their diet, all of these things that make a modern professional footballer. But Jack Grealish seemed like a normal guy. Jack Grealish seemed like the guys who are down the pub celebrating after they're watching their team win a treble. So it made him really relatable. And the overall consensus was that this was awesome and everyone loved Jack Grealish doing this. Everyone, that is, except for what would appear one man. Now, it's important for me to clarify that I'm not 100% sure that Pep Guardiola had an issue with Jack Grealish's behavior during the celebrations following the treble. However, it's a consensus among many footballing fans that Guardiola appeared to have some sort of issue, and following that season would appear to be when Guardiola and Grealish's relationship took a bit of a turn. Following the treble-winning season, Jack Grealish seemed to not be involved in the Manchester City squad as much as he did previously. Now, part of this obviously was due to the fact that he did have several injuries in the seasons that followed, but also too, it was very clear there was a lack of confidence in Pep Guardiola for Jack Grealish's ability to contribute to the squad, which ultimately saw him have a dip in form and ultimately not even be given as much playing time as he previously had had. And going into the 25-26 season, it's been announced that Jack Grealish will be joining Everton on loan, where hopefully, for his sake, he can regain the form that we knew from his years at Aston Villa and the early years he had at Manchester City. Now, when it comes down to the opinions of Jack Grealish amongst mass football fans, in my opinion, I think it's very, very complicated. I think Jack Grealish is a very talented football player, and we've seen that when he's playing at his best. Unfortunately, I think he's gotten a lot of criticism due to his £100 million price tag when he went to Manchester City. But like I said previously, that's not really up to him. That's a transfer fee agreed between the two clubs, and he has no input on the valuation that these two clubs have put on him. However, I do think that there's been a lot of criticism from people saying that Jack Grealish was never up to the level of Manchester City. But I would disagree with that, due simply down to his impact that he had in the treble-winning season, where he was a very, very important player that year. Was he the most important player? No. But did he play an integral role? Absolutely. Now, the criticism that he's got from his drinking and his partying, personally, I think that's a little overblown as well. I think Jack Grealish, at the end of a season that was historic, celebrated like a lot of people would. Hell, he celebrated like probably I would if I played for Liverpool and we won a treble. But
Facts.
Unfortunately, I do understand the other aspect where people feel as though that's not a professional way to behave. I'm not a professional footballer, so I would think that would be how I would behave. But that's not the reality that how professional football players should behave. And I think that came into consideration on the opinion that Pep Guardiola had over Jack Grealish. I think he's a very, very good player, and in many situations, like I mentioned, I think he can be relatable to a lot of football fans. He's a player that a lot of people want to see succeed. I don't want to see him succeed at Everton because I hate Everton, but he's a guy that I think has had a lot of potential, and many people feel he has not lived up to it. But I want to know what you guys think. Let me know down below in the comments how you feel about the career of Jack Grealish. Has it been as up and down as many people have said it has been, or has this been a prediction that you could have seen how his career would go? Also, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification.
Yeah, that definitely, I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure that just tanked my viewership on this stream. Oh my god, I did it again! Fucking kidding me, Liam. Where is it? God, shoot someone. Alright. Yeah, so there you guys go. That was my new video. I'm nearly certain that I lost viewers from premiering it on stream, but I haven't actually looked at the metrics here. And I apologize again if my it just tanked the viewership. Looks like. I think. My computer sucks. Oh my god. My computer is absolute garbage sometimes. Absolute and utter trash. How many people are live right now? 4. Just tank. That's just a case point in how to tank your viewership. drop a new video and premiere it live on stream. Surefire way to tank the viewership. All right, let me know if you guys have any other topics that you want to talk about before I hop off of stream, because as I mentioned, it appears that I premiered a new video that I dropped and it just destroyed the stream numbers. I was in like the 10s, and now I'm in the 3s. 3. All right. Let me know if you guys have any more questions. If not, I'll hop off stream. If so, please let me know. I'll stay as long as you guys got questions, but it looks like the chat kind of went a little dead there for a little while I had to show you my new. This just in from Fabrizio Romano. Federico Chiesa on his future. I'm very happy at Liverpool. I will speak to the club, and I want to stay here and fight to win many trophies. Chiesa, that was a great moment for me, but my thoughts go to Diogo. It was very emotional for me. Yeah, that's so sad. That's so sad, man. You know, definitely prayers to the family of Diogo Jota and Andre Silva. I'm sure like today was a really, really emotional and really tough time for them. I literally could not even imagine what those poor people had to go through. That's so sad. You know, definitely prayers out to Diogo Jota and Andre Silva's families. You know, I'm sure, and I'm sure some of the players even probably were really, really emotional today. It was probably like a really weird feeling for them. You know, but nice to see that Chiesa got some time, got a moment, and hopefully we can still see him play with the club for quite some time. Because I do think he's got a lot of talent. All right, guys, I'm hopping off. Thank you all for anyone that watched, subscribed, contributed. Shout out Kono Yunes. Shout out Grub in the chat. Shout out Rasta Stocks. I know that he was popping in with us, but yeah, no, definitely. Shout out Z. Z even joined the chat for a little bit. Said something about Salah. I'm not even particularly sure what he was going on about, but shout out to all you guys in the chat. I really